Hey YouTube, this is T-Burn from Team Gold Rush. I'm just here to give you guys a deck update for my blackwings. Because I went to my locals last week and I didn't do so well, so kind of made me really disappointed. So I tried to fix it, and I think I did really a lot better. This week I did really well. In fact, a lot better considering like all the decks that are out right now. I took out a couple cards like swords, marshmallow. I took out blackback and won my body, and I did that because I felt like this deck, it's made to swarm as fast as possible, so you could quickly get rid of your opponent before they can make any moves, and then set back row to destroy a lot of stuff like Icarus and stuff. So I mean, like, yeah, so it's like I added in a couple cards and I took out some. So here we go. The usual 3 Sirocco, to pump, and then normal summon 2000 beater. 3 Shura. Absolute staple in this deck. You gotta kill those monsters that they control, and then you gotta special summon. You get to special summon 1 from your deck, 15 or less, and then you get to synchro. Now you can go for like Armor Master. I found out recently that you could synchro for Vortex or for Cataster if you get by, because its effects are negated. And then if they have like a big field, just get out Black Rose and nuke. 3 Bora, because I mean you're always gonna have those Sirocco out and stuff like that, so it's helpful to use Sirocco's effect to pump. He also does a lot of difference damage, and it's really easy to get out to swarm the field. 2 Blizzard. What you normally want to do is you want to like summon your Shura. If you also have Blizzard in your hand, after that it dies either by them killing it or you synchro, and then you usually want to conserve, but if you feel like you can go for game, you summon Blizzard, you special Shura or Bora from your graveyard, and then synchro for, I usually would go for Flamevelt Uquias that I just recently got, or if I've got like a big enough hand to remove, to send a bunch of their cards back to their hand or extra deck, probably get Brionic. So 2 Vayu, to synchro in the graveyard. It's always going to happen. And then it's also good, one of my favorite things to do with Vayu is, there's 2 things. 1, Icarus, because you just want it in the graveyard anyway, so it doesn't matter if you tribute it or not. And then if you have Brionic on the field and you have Sirocco in your graveyard or in your hand, you just send those 2 to the graveyard and then special Armed Wing after sending 2 of their cards back to their hand to try and go for game. Gale, it's just an overall great card for this deck. Special, half, a tuner to synchro. Breeze, in the same boat. I mean, you can't half, but if you get it to your hand by any kind of effect, you can special summon it just like you would with Gale for a synchro. Sangen, set it first turn, see what they do. They kill it, you get whatever you want to your hand that's 15 or less. Morphing Jar, it's helped me a lot. Your hand is gone, you have no hand, cards face down, they attack it, just get a full hand back. Just feels good. Gores. Reason why I added Gores to this deck now is because just like Morphing Jar, well, more like Sangen, you don't play anything, you see what they're gonna do, and then they attack you, you play Gores, you get a token with that much attack, and then you've got this really big beat stick on the field. Now they're going to try and it's going to be the next target. So that's why I like this card, because it's also a good bait card, because they're going to try and go after that, and then you start swarming the field with your blackwings. So, and then Dark Nephis, it's an overall good card. Send 2 from your remove 2 from your graveyard to put it in the graveyard. Special it on your next standby phase and destroy 1 card. Now it's also very helpful because let's say you've got Dark Armed in your hand, and you've got that in your hand, and you've got 4 dark monsters in your graveyard, and you're just like upset about it. You just want to get dark armed out. You just remove from play 2 in your graveyard, put Dark Nephis in your graveyard, and then that counts as 3 to get a Dark Arm. And then the last monster, Dark Arm. That's just overall staple. Just you can pretty much just go for game whenever you get it out on the field. Now for spell and traps, Black Whirlwind, ulti staple. I mean by that I mean like you need it. And you can't live without it because it's just so good, because that's just basically how it's one of the cards that just helps you swarm in this deck. So Dark Hole, to get rid of those heavy fields of your opponent. Monster Reborn. I can't even make like a list of all the things that you can do with Monster Reborn. Get their monsters synchro with their monsters. Get your monsters synchro. Or just get their monsters to swarm with their own, or stuff like that. Mind Control. It's just a helpful card to use their monsters to synchro with yours. Or what one of my friends does, you've got like, let's say somebody's got Marshmallow. Let's say you have like a full field and you just really want to attack him, but you can't. Mind Control it and then just kill. 1 MST. Now, I would recommend 2 MST, but there's a lot of decks coming out now since like Dandelion's getting limited. People are going to be switching from that to Frognarks, because Frognarks kind of runs like the same way with the Chaos. And so basically you only want to run 1, because since of Treeborn you're not going to want to, they're not going to set that many cards. So it's only good to run 1. It's important to side 1 though. Only 1 My Body is a Shield, because when you run 2, you might draw into 1 and you won't need it at a certain time. I mean, you can always draw into it at a really bad time, but it's only good to run 1 because, like I said before, blackwings, they're trying to kill your opponent as fast as they can. So it's like you got to try and only use, you don't want to try and overrun too many cards to slow them down. And then the 1 card that helps pushing for game, Giant Shroominade. It's just a good card to get rid of their back row. Just amazing now because there's no heavy storm, so it just pushes for game. Allure for draw power, and might be hard sometimes, but usually you remove value if I've got like Siraku and Bora in my hand, or if I've got Shura in my hand, because I want to keep those. I mean, value is important, but I would have to say Armor Master or Black Rose takes the cake over value. Pot of Avarice for my last spell, because it's either you run that or you run what's his name, the Dark Creator, because like you try and swarm with this deck as fast as you can. And there's always going to be decks where they constantly can, eventually they'll just try and stop you, and you'll have them all in the graveyard. Now you need to get your monsters back, so either you run Dark Creator or you run Pot of Avarice. Now I like Pot of Avarice personally because you get them all back to the graveyard. See, if you summon Dark Creator and they bottomless it, that would just be awful, and then you wouldn't be anywhere at that point. But like Pot of Avarice, you get them all back, then you get to draw 2. Now you might draw cards that might help you win the duel. You might draw cards that might save you a turn, so then you can win the duel later. It's a really good card to run in this deck because a lot of your cards get sent to the graveyard. Now for traps, first card I'm going to show is obviously Icarus 2. Nobody really should be running 3. 2 should be the best, because 3, like My Body, you could draw into it and not have anything to tribute, or you might not want to tribute it at that point. So it's really important to know when to use it, but to only run 2, so that way you don't draw into it or get rid of a monster that you really need at that point to save yourself. And maybe taking out that card can help you put in something else that might be more helpful in a different way. And then the new card I added to this deck is Compulse, because Compulse is just broken. It's just an overall good card because you can it can save your monsters from being removed from play on the field. You can set your opponent like completely back a turn, depending on their situation, and it's just an overall good card to run in this deck. I recommend 2, not 3. Next card, 2 Bottomless. 2 Bottomless, it's kind of just like Compulse, but removes them from play. But I mean, it's just good to run cards that just stop summons, so you can set back your opponent a turn. So you're setting your opponent back a turn while your Blackwings are trying to move as fast as possible. The next card I'm using in this deck, and I found out that it's really important, 2 Divine Wrath. Now, I have a Gladiator Beast deck that I will be doing on this on YouTube, but because I found out that War Chariot is so broken, this card is similar to it. All you got to do is discard a card. Now, you might not always want to do that, but what's going on right now in the Yu-Gi-Oh world is that there's a lot of effect monsters out there, so you want to stop those. I mean, it can stop X-Sabers, it can stop, oh my god, my favorite, it can stop Frognarks, it can just hurt everything. God card. I call it the God card because Solemn Judgment. You get to call judgment in the game. Like, you're God. And just say no to anything you want. I mean, except for effect monsters, effects I'm pretty sure, but it's still broken. And I mean, Solemn Warning's good, but it's expensive. I'm probably not going to get that anytime soon. And it's like, you might not always have the chance to pay that 2,000. And this card, you can pay it when you have 100 left. Mirror Force, just stop a whole wave of attacks. Trap Stun, just stop traps for a turn, kind of just like Giant Trunon, go for game. Deprison, I'm going to run 2, because it's just really, really good. It's a really important card. Torrential, to stop a swarm of your opponent, whether it be X-Sabers or whatever. You just want to stop them from doing whatever they're doing. And then final card to run in Blackwings, really important, is Delta Crow, because it's a heavy storm for this deck. This deck's like the only one that can do that. Now for my extra deck. I have to start hurrying up because I'm running close to the cap, so I'll just go quick on this. 2 Blackwing Armor Master. Don't run 3. It's a noob thing to do, and it's just like an overall important card in this deck. 2 Armwing, for Value's effect, and it can really hit defense position monsters. 2 Vortex, I have them. You might not want to, but sometimes it's good to summon them with Value's effect or Catastor, because you can use Sure's effect, kill a monster, get Value, synchro for 5 because its effects are negated. Moving on to really important cards in this deck. We got Flamevel, Quasos, Brionic, Mistworm, Black Rose, 2 Stardust, and 2 cards that I have in this extra deck right now that are obviously I can't run them, but it's just to show what I'm going to be doing. Like I said before, I'm going to be using my Glads. I'm going to be making a video for my Glads, but my next deck video after that is probably going to be for these bad boys, Raher. I don't know if you can see it or not. Xian, 6 Sams, and then Barkion, because it's just really important to 6 Sams. So I hope you like my new deck update, and I hope you try it. Thanks.